For years, my team and I have been working with teachers to show them ways to target comprehension instruction by marrying their literature text with their informational text. This idea of seeing the standards not as 20 separate comprehension standards, but as 10 reciprocal ones. Most recently, I conveyed this in the resource, the Comprehension Playbook, for teachers who say, but why? Isn't it easier to work with just one at a time and keep them separate? Isn't that what we should do for students? I say no, and I'm not the only one. The sentiment of this, my aha, came from Lucy Calkins and her team in the book Pathways to the Common Core. On pages 27 and 28, here's an excerpt that I want to just kind of draw your attention to. It's under the heading of how the same skills are applied to reading literature and informational text. She goes on to say the skills for reading literature and the skills for reading informational texts are the same in the Common Core. You've got those 10 standards in literature and 10 in informational text. That's how they're presented. And the idea is that they share the same 10 thinking skills. That's what we've got to get kids to understand is as readers, they've got to bring the same thinking process to any text they read. It's not just do this with literature or this with informational text. In that same excerpt, she goes on to say, now, sometimes the grade level skill for a standard is exactly the same between literature and informational text, like cite evidence for inferences. However, there are times where there are subtle differences in the skill, like text structure or perspective, word choice and vocabulary between literature and informational text. But essentially, the anchor standards are two sides of the same coin. Because ultimately, here is the big focus of our comprehension standards. Whether your state adopted Common Core or a slight variation of it, the idea is why are the same skills applied to both types of text? Because generally, we're trying to unify reading skills. Readers bring the same skills to all kinds of texts. Think about how the standards are organized. First, read for key ideas and details, general gist. Then zoom in and look at word choice, vocabulary, text structure, purpose, perspective. Then zoom out and start to integrate ideas with this text and other texts and background knowledge and compare texts and synthesize. I want to point out one of the three major authors of this resource is Christoper Lehman. Mr. Close Reading. He has so many resources on teaching kids how to read closely. You know, tying the lenses of reading. Read first for surface, then zoom in, then zoom out. Let's stop teaching 20 separate comprehension standards and start to marry them together to help our readers.